America is hands down one of the best countries in the world. And I believe that in order to stay on top and only progress further as a country, we need to take care of the future of America, and that is the young women and men of the country, K through 12. So I think we're falling behind and we're failing the youth of America a little bit. And here's how, okay? So classroom sizes across America are way too big for the most part. The smaller the class, usually the better experience for the individual. And I mean, everyone's different, but me personally, whenever I'm in a bigger class, I feel like I can't talk to my teacher as easy. If they don't know my name, it's hard to communicate with them, and it's a lot harder to learn in that environment than if it's like a size 10 to 30 in that range, because then you feel a more personal connection with your teacher, and you can learn a lot easier and more effectively in less time. You have to spend more time outside of class than you would if you had a smaller classroom. And a lot of students, especially younger, if that's not installed to them, will not do that. And about 14% of schools across nationwide are exceeding maximum capacity. So now you're talking huge classrooms. And this isn't college, this is high school. And another example I would use is whenever you're in college and you're going through all the classes, your prereqs, you're usually in bigger classrooms because they're not as important. But once you get further into your major, those classroom sizes get smaller and smaller and smaller. And it's because they want you to actually learn that information, and because you're going to be applying it for the rest of your life. So I strongly am a believer in lowering classroom sizes across America. Also, we spend less and less money. We fund it less and less every year, K through 12. K through 12 is very important because you're developing those young minds of America. And if you're not making sure that your youth is developing the way that you believe they should, then your country is in not good hands. So 34 states are contributing less and less funding every year since 2009, which was the last recession of our economy. And but despite the economy just keep going up before this coronavirus outbreak, we just keep spending less and less money on K through 12. And if you didn't know this, 44% of schools funding comes from the state if they're not private. So that's 44% of your budget as a school, if you're a public school in 36 states, just going down and down every year despite the economy going up, which does not make a whole lot of sense to me. I think we need to invest in the youth of America. Also, I'm a firm believer that we do not pay teachers enough, and here's why. Teachers, not only do they teach information, which is very important, which is why they're hired, but a lot of times teachers end up being more than just a teacher to a student. And every person who's ever gone to school has at least one teacher that they could say was like their rock, or they just helped them, or they helped them push through. Like, there was always that one teacher who was always there for you. It didn't matter who you were, like how you looked, there's always at least one. And I think that is more important almost than teaching. And we only pay these teachers on average $60,000 a year nationwide, which is kind of ridiculous to me because you're asking them to stay after hours, come in early, help these students. And so whenever you're paying $60,000 a year, that's not very enticing. So you're getting a lot of teachers, not all of them, but a lot of teachers that don't care as much and aren't going to stay and aren't going to be that rock because they're like, I'm only getting paid $60,000 a year, like why would I do this, right? Because in America you get what you pay for, right? And that's true everywhere, but we're paying our teachers so low. If you want crappy teachers, this is what you should pay them. And some people are going to do it despite because they believe in that, but like you're not going to get a lot of teachers that want to do this. So I believe that we should raise it a lot. I'm a firm believer in that. And another thing that should be done with our education system is not only like once a teacher is done with college, we just stop making that teacher learn about the education system, because there's always like 40-year-old, our teachers have 40 years of experience, and they could be a good teacher, but they're not using the best methods because 40 years ago, they didn't have smart boards, so this teacher's still on a chalkboard, and it's not very interactive, and it's really boring, and it takes a long time, when she could just make, or he or she, sorry, could just make a slide on this whiteboard, and it's a lot more effective. So I do believe that we should definitely educate our teachers every year so they're using the best and most effective methods of teaching. And every generation is different than the generation before. So ways of learning are always evolving, and so should our teachers. In conclusion, I think America definitely needs to push the initiative into making our education systems a whole lot better. We need to set the standard for the rest of the world. And compared to the rest of the world, we're not bad, but we should be the very top, no one even close. Because we are the greatest country in the world, and I think we should have, hands down, the best education system in the world, not even close. And that's it. That's all I got.